Steve, we're going way back to the First World War. This is Trenches, a survival horror story, and well, this puts you in the boots of a person stuck in the trenches of the First World War, an awful time in human history, and this, well, it sets out to try and express that to the player. It puts you in the boots, you're able to try and scramble around the trench, see what's going on, make sense of your surroundings, and hopefully escape. But it is worth noting, this is the creation of one individual. This is Steel Krill is the developing company on this one, but it does offer the explanation when you open the game up. This is created by one person. So given that, it is a little bit impressive in that regard. I know I can't create a video game, but what was your first impression getting into this one? We're on the Xbox Series consoles.
I have to say, first off, I was looking forward to trying this game out. The trailer looks good. But to be honest, on playing on a big TV on the Xbox Series X, it does show its signs. It's, you're in the trenches, so there's not a lot going on. You just got your basic two walls, left and right, and maybe one at the end, and it is just one big hectic maze. That's supposed to be haunted. And unfortunately for me as well, because you're in the trenches and it's World War One, you get a lot of spotlights that are around in the back, and they always seem to be facing straight in my face, so you don't really see the whole picture of the trenches because you get big white dot in the middle, and you've got fog as well, just to sort of help you try and navigate through forward, back, left and right, basically. How did you find it?
Oh, as you stumble through the entire maze, it is quite hard to get your bearings, but I think that's exactly the point. We're dealing with a really small map, and it is just a maze of trenches. That really is the best way to describe it. A lot of the time, the frustration behind this game, the difficulty, is really trying to where am I? Where did I just come from?
Yes.
If you're good at corn mazes, you might have a good leg up on this one, but essentially the objective is to put together the story of what's going on. You're reading a lot of different notes, a lot of different letters from the front, and it seems something awful has happened here, something truly paranormal, and pushing through these trenches just uncovers a lot of different creepy items, and that's where the horror aspect, the elements come in, and it's basically what I would come to expect. You have really awful visuals, you're hard to see where you're going, and there's not much to see. Secondly, if you come around a corner a little too slowly, sometimes you'll see a face peek around the edge at you. I like that kind of subtle storytelling, but it does ramp up quite aggressively. You find some bodies that scream. You're chasing. This has to be the best/worst part. You're chasing cries of babies as you maneuver around this maze, trying to find what appears to be dolls. But that crying baby trope is something that I got tired of in games long past. Max Payne made that really painful, and well, that's majority of this game you're going to spend listening to those crying and trying to find the dolls, and that's essentially it. You find a lot of these different items. They give you a huge amount of achievements because we're on the Xbox, and from what I can gather, you get the wire cutters, cut the wire, and you're out. That's basically the end of it.
Yes, and that's what I found, because you start off with a whistle that you're supposed to blow, and then you can hear where the baby's crying if you're near or far.
Yeah.
And there's always like two nearby when you first start off. So I got the first one, then as soon as you get the second one, then you get the monster that's following you and he's trying to track you down and chase you. You can't outrun this monster. All you can hear is the footsteps of coming towards you. And there is hiding spots, but there isn't many I noticed on this map at all.
No.
And of course you've got to try and remember where they are. And the only thing I was a bit hindered by is that I found if I just got the first baby, not the second one, then you're not getting chased by the creature. And I actually found possibly 10 out of the 11 achievements. So the 11th one is find the cutters. And it's like, do I really want to pay any more just for that last achievement? Because obviously when you do get caught by this creature, it's back to the beginning again and you lose everything.
Yeah, a complete reset.
But obviously the other last thing I want to sort of kind of touch on is the controls. I had a lot of issues because there is parts where you do pick up like notes to read, but to position yourself to actually pick anything up was a nightmare. And I think I even had to adjust my X and Y sensitivity on my controller.
Oh.
Just the fact because it was like spinning all over the place trying to line it up. I don't know if you had the same kind of issue.
Yeah, I had a very clunky is the meme that people use to describe it, but that's actually exactly what we had here. It's really hard to you find yourself targeting an item, but you're just a little to the left, so you move it. But now you're a little to the right, so you move it back to the left. It's just an impossibly frustrating situation. On top of having this creature breathing down your neck, and that actually leads to one of my highlights is the little horror aspects in this game. I liked when you hear the voice speaking to you. I know you can't see me, but I'm right beside you. And that's the kind of thing that I really do appreciate. I like, if I can get my mindset into the horror game, then I'm all in and I'm buckled up for the ride. But in this case, with Trenches, it was quite a short ride. It is advertised as replayable. I'm not really sure I agree with that necessarily. I think you get in, you've seen what there is to see, and you get out. But in my opinion, the visuals of this game are really lacking. The map is quite small, and like I said, replayability isn't really here for me. I'm there with unfortunately a 4 out of 10. This game had a great idea on paper, but just didn't quite hit it.
Yep, and to be honest with you, Scott, I'm with you on everything you just touched on. I did like the jump scares. It did get me a few times, and I did cuss. But to be honest with you, when you die and you start back at the beginning, you kind of know where they are and what to expect. And it was the same thing. I found it a little bit repetitive, just keep going down the hallways just for like half hour and not finding anything. And overall, it was fun for the first 30 minutes, and then I kind of lost interest. So unfortunately for me, I'm giving this a 4 as well.